So it's right around 11:30 p.m. on Sunday, February 23rd, 2025. And I have been reporting all afternoon and evening that there's someone in Unit 88 whose behavior is completely dysregulated and psychotic, and they smack the wall and make loud grunting noises from that corner right there whenever I do certain things in this unit but not others, or have to change out of my clothes or go into my bathroom and engage in personal hygiene. And obviously, the Greenville group is permitting the wanking, perving, creeping pig named Jason DaCosta, who they placed in that unit for 3 years, to continue to access that unit after hours and on weekends when they know that nobody is in the office, to come up here at my request and open that door to see if Mr. DaCosta is literally perving and creeping all over this wall. I have lived next door to that piece of shit for 3 years, and I am very familiar with his psychotic, mentally disturbed pattern of violently smacking this wall whenever I do certain things in the privacy of this unit, but not others. And at this point, dozens of people have told me there are surveillance devices being used in this unit, including several staffers from the Greenville group who like to refer to the fat, stinking, perving, creeping psychopath named Jasmine Irizarry, who they housed in 78 for 10 years, as their surveillance expert. They like to brag about their criminal activities and abilities because they are crooked slumlords who think they're above the law. So they brag about things. So right now there's someone smacking the wall in Unit 88. Whenever I do anything that might be remotely personal, nothing weird, just normal stuff. But because Jason DaCosta is a child molester and likes to perv and creep all over young teenage girls, such as my nieces, I have no idea how he even knows about their existence. But clearly, he's being provided with some unlawfully obtained information about my family, including the children in my family. He was screaming and shouting my niece's name outside of my door and making comments about her chest size. That was recently. That wasn't 3 years ago. That was maybe 6 months ago. He's a child molester. He's also a wanking, compulsive, masturbating piece of shit. And he's been making grunting noises from that corner all afternoon and evening. And just now, 5 minutes ago, he smacked this wall pretty loud. And it's directly against the wall. It's not coming from 2 floors below or from the sidewalk or from the train station around the corner. There is someone in that unit right now, late at night, as I keep reporting, that the Greenville group is not monitoring, might have even allowed to keep the key. Mr. DaCosta was moved at the request of law enforcement out of Unit 88 approximately a week ago, but the Greenville group have refused to remove him from Unit 88 for 2.5 years, in spite of multiple police reports and complaints that I've filed against him. So they're probably still letting him access Unit 88 because they feel bad for him, or they just love the perving, creeping, wanking pigs that they choose to house in large numbers in this building. Almost all male sex offenders, right? That's their business model. They cram large numbers of DMH inmates who are sex offenders into this building, claiming that this is a building for people who work and have to pay rent out of pocket and have jobs. That's a lie. They're violating their own verbally stated policy by continuing to house Mr. DaCosta in Unit 88. And because they have failed to move Jason DaCosta at my request for over 2.5 years, and only moved him last week because law enforcement and a judge required it, they are clearly allowing Mr. DaCosta to access the now vacant premises of his former unit, where he likes to wank against this wall when I do certain things in this unit but not others, and docks his presence by smacking the wall right here and by grunting over in that corner. I don't know if he's like lying horizontally, but the smacking just came right there. It was right there. Pretty loud. So whoever's in that unit, I'm assuming it's the fat perving pig DaCosta, the child molesting piece of filth DMH inmate who spent 2.5 years loudly blasting porn and masturbating against this wall whenever I would take my clothes off or come out of my shower. He needs to be moved, and I have to file a restraining order against the Greenville group because they continue to allow psycho sex offenders like Jasmine Irizarry and Jason DaCosta to continue to access the units that they have been moved out of by law enforcement. It's not the Greenville group who is choosing to remove their perving, creeping, wanking, fat pig sex offenders out of these units. It is law enforcement that is requiring that the Greenville group move fat, ugly, perving, wanking pigs like Jasmine Irizarry and Jason DaCosta out of their units because they can't stay away from the walls of my unit. These are pieces of shit that hate stock women, including Jasmine Irizarry. She's a mentally disturbed reject who has issues with other women and tries to be them. And if she can't be them, then she tries to destroy them. And she's perpetually being permitted to access the area around the wall behind my shower stall by the Greenville group. They're refusing to remove her from this building, even though she's criminally insane and she's an obsessive sex offender who has issues with women's body parts. And she's their surveillance expert, as they keep bragging about her. So when a real estate company acts like criminals, makes decisions like criminals, houses large numbers of criminals, makes blatant lies in order to support the criminals, and obfuscate the truth about these criminals' activities and behaviors, then that real estate company is itself a criminal group. They have refused to remove Jasmine Irizarry from the area behind that shower stall, and she continues to dox her physical presence in the area behind that shower stall. It's a utility closet that has a separate access point outside of Unit 78, and they're allowing her to continue to perv and creep in that tiny utility closet that she is always doxing her presence in by smacking the wall behind my shower stall when I try to use my toilet, when I try to use a shower. And Jason DaCosta, the fat, hideously ugly, perving, wanking, child molesting piece of shit, is doxing his physical presence right now behind this wall by making grunting noises and smacking this wall over the last, not just 5 or 10 minutes, but over the last few hours. Wow. Time to take everyone to court, as I keep saying. And eventually they do get taken to court. I eventually do what I say.